Elite Dangerous and FDev find themselves in a weird spot at the end of the year. And this is pretty much because everything FDev did this year they took an L on. And I'm not going to get into a lot of the details of this, but if you want a good idea, go take a look at the year view of FDev stock, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what's going on with them. And this is amidst what's currently going on in the world, where video game companies are generally doing pretty well for themselves. Now, I think some good can come of this in this weird situation, so that's what we're going to go over in this video. But first off, let's get into what has put Elite Dangerous in this weird situation. So the release of Odyssey really gave Elite Dangerous some bad PR and some bad feelings in their community, because it released in a very unplayable state, and then on top of that, the content just really wasn't there. Like, I for one see zero reason to ever leave a ship, so really pretty much I see zero reason to buy the DLC. And that's still to this day at this current point. I still feel the same. And on top of all of that, the console was delayed, and then it was delayed indefinitely, and they still haven't talked about a release date or what is going on with that situation. So they're left in this state where they have a lot of PR, a lot of bad things going on, and they need to win back the goodwill of the community and get some good PR going on. Now, the way I see it, there's really three main ways that they could do this. First off, they could announce the console release date, but they seem unwilling to do that, whether it's because they just don't know or because it's bad news and they don't want to announce it. It seems like they're unwilling, so that option seems off the table. Now, the second option is they could announce some more content for Odyssey, which Odyssey definitely needs it, because right now it's pretty lackluster on the content side. But that would get you goodwill and good PR among the PC community, but it would do the opposite for the console community, because they don't even have a release date. So why would you talk about adding content to Odyssey when you don't even have a release date for console? So they would be rightfully annoyed, because it would feel like a slap in the face from FDev again. So that doesn't really seem like an option to get great PR. And you can even see an example of this when they announced the new SRV and fleet carrier interiors, where the PC community was pretty happy about it. Console community felt like it was a slap in the face. So really the only surefire way that they can get good PR and goodwill of the community from everybody at this point is by doing stuff that affects both Horizons and Odyssey. And now this is an interesting thing, because FDev seems unwilling to add any new content to Horizons, even for the console players. Because when they added that new SRV, it was Odyssey only, and console players just do not have access to it because they don't have access to Odyssey. So it seems like the only real thing they can do is by fixing stuff that players have complained about for years. That's the only way they can get good PR. So amidst everything that's going on, I think the good that can come from the situation is if we get them to start fixing stuff that we have been complaining about in Elite Dangerous for years. And this is why they have started to talk about the grind for engineering. They're starting to focus on that because they realized, hey, if we get people hyped about fixing engineering, we're going to get a lot of good PR from both the console and the PC community. So I think now is the time to make your voice heard on stuff that you have been annoyed with for years with Elite Dangerous, and they just haven't changed because they couldn't be bothered, because right now they can be bothered. Because they took L's all year long, and Elite Dangerous is still one of their highest earning properties. And so they do not want to let Elite Dangerous go without a fight. And now they are starting to realize that the only way that they can get the goodwill of both the PC and the console players is by going back and changing stuff that we have been complaining about for years. We can start, like as I said before, we can start to see this happening with them talking about how to better do engineering so that it's not as much of a grind and not as boring. So as an example of what I think is something else that they could do is hull tanks have always been in a bad spot compared to shield tanks, and this is really annoying because I do like to fly other ships than the Fer-de-Lance or the Crate Mark II and stuff like that. So I would really like them to take a balance check and bring hull tanks up to kind of the standard and viability that shield tanks have in the game. So I think we as a community need to make our voices heard and have some good about this weird situation that Frontier has backed themselves into a corner where this is all they can do to get the goodwill of the players and the community back from both the console and the PC side. So we need to take advantage of that and try to get Elite Dangerous into a better state than it has been in years. Anyway, I'll probably make a video later on of stuff I would like to see. Let me know what you think of the comments, hit the forums, talk to your favorite Elite Dangerous content creators, because I really do feel like Frontier is backed into a corner on this one, and they will start having to listen to us and fix the game. Anyway, thank you all for watching the video. Let me know stuff that you would like to see in the comments below.